Hey guys and girls, this is Psycho Steve. You're listening to my podcast called Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow. Today we're very fortunate and blessed to have Mr. Joey Cassata, drummer, percussionist extraordinaire. Good day, fine sir. How are you?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm sitting on a rainbow. How's it going with you?
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're quite busy with all the projects. Everybody tells me you're part Jamaican because you're in 7 different bands and 7 different projects. And I'm like, I can't even keep up. I'm just like, I knew he was in that. I knew he was in that. And I knew he was in that. But I didn't know he was in that, So
which ones didn't you know I was in? That's a good question.
Well, that's a good question. So let's go on the list and tell everybody. Let's get everybody caught up because I've known you since I'm dating myself since the ZO2 days. Because you are, you have one of the greatest accomplishments that no other band has ever done. In my opinion, I think it's one of the greatest accomplishments of being a unsigned band to tour with the international band KISS and doing direct support for that matter. That's a pretty awesome feat to do, especially,
It was a pretty wild time. It was mind-boggling. I mean, KISS is our heroes, so
right.
Mine, Paulie, Dave, those guys that are in ZO2, we all grew up with KISS. KISS is all of our favorite bands. So to get that tour, we were only a band for less than a year. We had just finished our first album independently.
Right.
And, we were playing locally. We were doing some residencies over in New York City. And, we were obviously aspiring to be the next big thing, of course. But, you have to wait for that to come to you and go out and get it. So we were playing locally. We were just finishing up our initial CD called Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this is early 2004.
Right.
So our manager at the time had a contact with Paul Stanley, and I'm not sure if you knew, but what happened was Rise of Destruction, which was Nikki Sixx's band back then.
Yeah, with Tracy Guns.
Right, was rumored to be on that tour with KISS and Poison.
Right.
So something happened fairly last minute, early on 2004. The tour started, summer of 2004. So somewhere around January, February of 2004, something happened with Rise of Destruction. I don't know all the details. There's rumors, a million rumors going around. And, I don't even want to get into them because I don't know for sure what happened. But sure enough, Rise of Destruction didn't do the tour. So like I said, our manager at the time had gotten our CD to Paul Stanley, and Paul loved the CD, went crazy over it, thought it was, fresh and new and exciting. And we got a call and said, we were actually hoping maybe we can get one show with KISS. It would be amazing to jumpstart our careers. And we got the call to do the whole summer with them. It was insane.
Right. It was for the Rock of the Nations tour, if I can remember correctly, right?
Right. Rock the Nations tour, right. It was the first tour with Tommy and Eric together in that lineup, right.
Cool. All right. So the quick question is...
It was wild.
All right, let's get to as far as in questions about you. Besides drums and percussion, do you play any other instrument?
I play a little bit of guitar. I don't know if you know anything else about the ZO2 guys, but we're also kids musicians.
Right.
So, and being kids musicians, we would play kids' birthday parties and sing-alongs and whatnot, and that actually led to our TV series called Z-Rock. But through the kids musicians, I started playing guitar a little bit. I played, just some basic chords and sing-along songs, stuff easy kid songs. So I do play a little bit of guitar.
Yes, don't get that mixed up with KISS stuff. Kids stuff.
Exactly. Kids with a D, right. Not 2 S's, with a DS.
Right.
So from there, playing these kids' birthday parties and stuff, we actually got our own TV show. We were actually playing a birthday party, and a big agent was at this birthday party, and he's like, "What are you guys doing playing this kid's birthday party? You guys look like a rock band." And we're like, "Yeah, well, we are a rock band. We're actually playing B.B. King's in Times Square tonight. Why don't you come down and check us out?" He's like, "Yeah, that sounds actually great." So he wound up coming down. Again, we were hoping for maybe getting into this concert division of this agency, and it turned out this guy was part of the TV department. So we started talking to him, and he's like, "You guys have like this Clark Kent Superman, daytime kids musicians, nighttime crazy rock musicians. Maybe we should do something together. We were like, yeah, sure, let's try to do something. So, we came up with this little quick idea, and we filmed a quick sizzle reel, started pitching it to network, and we got a lot of bites, and we wound up signing with IFC. Had 2 great seasons with amazing guest stars, Joan Rivers and Dee Snider and Dave Navarro and Daryl Hall.
Wow.
And it was just a wild, wild time, yeah.
Very cool. So anyone in your family musicians? Like
my grandfather played drums. I remember playing drums when I was little, but no one else really so much as a musician. I first picked up the drums, again, back to Kiss. Everything leads back to Kiss.
Right.
I went to see Kiss at Madison Square Garden in 1979 on the Dynasty tour.
Right on.
I was 5 years old. My brother was older than me. He wanted to go to the show. I knew nothing about Kiss. If anything, I might have been a little scared of Kiss. I remember seeing commercials for Phantom of the Park, and I think I was a little scared of them at the time. Went to see Kiss at Madison Square Garden. Was blown away. Peter's drum kit rose and did his drum solo, and I was hooked. I had to ask for drums that Christmas, and the rest is history, as they say.
Right on. Okay, I saw him the following year. I saw him with Eric Carr's first performance at the Palladium. That was my first.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was my first show. So we go to ZO2. You guys had the success with the new album that you guys came out with and the tour. After that, you guys came out with a couple more albums and did a couple more stints with anybody else besides Kiss and
Yeah, well, I mean, we played with everyone under the sun that was, these big rock bands, mainly from the 80s and stuff, because that was, it was our genre of music. And, music at that time, touring music wasn't as big as it used to be and really as it is now. So, all those 80s acts were really just coming back into their own at that point.
Right.
Twisted Sister and Motley Crue and, Van Halen got back together. So all these big arena acts started to reform and do these big tours. So we would jump on a couple of those. We did some big shows with Scorpions and Sammy Hagar and Twisted Sister and Stryper and, everyone under the sun from back then we've played with and did mini tours with, throughout the country.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Okay. So now let's fast forward to present day. As far as in what you are doing now, I know you were playing drums in Jim Brewer's band. Is that correct?
Right, that is correct. I do a residency with Jim Brewer out in Huntington at the Paramount every month.
Right.
Every show is selling out. It's crazy. I play with the guys from Trickster, PJ and Steve-O from Trickster.
Right on.
And they're the other members of the band, and we back up Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer does his comedy act. It's like a 3-set routine. He does his comedy act. He does like a little skit routine, and then he brings us out to basically blow up the stage for a couple songs. And he does some parodies. He does some real songs. He does some Metallica. We do some Priest. We do, anything under the sun that he loved to do growing up, and all his big bands. And then we'll do some parodies, some of his classic stuff, and it's been a wild time. As the shows are selling out, I think if anyone's interested, you can definitely get tickets at theparamount.com for August, September, October, November, all the way throughout the next year.
Wow, he's like Billy Joel of comedy, selling out the Paramount.
Yeah, it's crazy. He didn't even know what he was, going to do exactly, if he was going to sell well, if he was going to do one show, 2 shows, and they just started selling out immediately. So we just kept adding shows. It's been so much fun.
Sweet.
And then with those same guys, with PJ and Steve-O, I also play with Eric Martin from Mr. Big.
Sweet.
So we've been doing shows with Eric for a while now. We got a lot of shows coming up at mid to end of the summer. Doing some festivals, doing some fun stuff with that. Those Mr. Big songs are great songs to play and to perform. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. I actually interviewed Eric many years ago when he had the Eric Martin band, when his wife was playing, Denise was playing drums for him. This is going back years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he came out with that Going Sane album, and he did a really great cover of The Cars, Just What I Needed.
He's so great. Everyone knows the Mr. Big stuff, but all his solo stuff is so good too. His voice is and he's one of those guys that his voice is still phenomenal after all these years. A lot of guys, I won't mention any names, but a lot of the guys have lost it over the years. And listen, to their credit, they're older guys, and some of these, throughout the years, they lost their voice. But Eric's still young, still in shape, and still killing it.
Yeah, he also takes care of his instrument. And that leads to my next question. I know you gig out a lot, but do you have like a certain ritual? Do you practice daily or once every other day?
It's funny. Most of the time, practice for me is learning material. So I like you were saying when we first started the interview, right. I'm playing with so many bands and so many acts and so many different orchestras and bands right now that I'm always constantly learning new material. So any brief second that I get, I have my headphones in. I'm learning new material. So practice for me most of the time is going over that material that I just learned throughout the day. So I'm always on the run, doing things, meetings and stuff like that. So I have my headphones in, I'm learning music, and I get home that night, go into my drum room, and I pretty much go over everything that my brain has absorbed from that day. So
wow.
It's not so much that I practice, my rudiments and all this other stuff still, which I do still, which I try to incorporate more into my music than I do sit and practice. But I'm always learning new material, so that really keeps me busy.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Now, the big question, you brought up Kiss. I am assuming you would be are you an Eric Singer, Eric Carr, or Peter Criss? Like, who would you say you're out of those three?
Listen, they're all great drummers in their own right.
Right.
Peter has such a unique style that for Kiss at the time, he was incredible. If you listen to that live album, or even earlier than that, some of those bootlegs on YouTube, some of the live stuff, Peter was an absolute monster of the way he played. And he had a style that was completely unique of his own. He wasn't, people want to say, oh, he was like a big band, jazzy type drummer. No, he wasn't. And people want to say, oh, he's this rock and roll. He wasn't. He was really this mixture of everything. He had this rock style, but with this swing that he would play everything with this jazzy swing, but he would keep like the straight eighth notes on his hi-hat. It was such a unique thing to Peter that any drummers out there, if you try to replicate Peter's songs, right, they're hard to play, because same thing with like Ringo. Ringo's very hard to replicate because he's got this unique style and this swing and this all these little ghost notes and cool little things that he wrote. He's a great drummer, and he's so hard to replicate. Peter's the same way. As far as my favorite Kiss drummer, Eric Carr is my favorite Kiss drummer. Just because growing up, Eric is really even though I saw Peter in 1979 and he's what made me want to play the drums, he was shortly gone right after that. So right after that is when, The Elder and then Creatures of the Night came out. So once Creatures of the Night came out, that became basically my holy Bible.
Right.
I worship that album. That album is Eric's, shining moment. The drums on that album are monstrous. The sounds that he got on that album, and not only for the drum sounds, everyone talks about the actual drum itself, those sounds, but if you listen to like the cymbal sounds and the hi-hat sounds and the stuff that they're doing just in the ambience of the room, it's such a perfect drum record, and that's what really got me hooked on the drums, even though Peter got me into them originally. Right. But Creatures of the Night, and then then the Animalized live uncensored VHS tape came out. I wore that thing out. I must have bought 3 or 4 copies because it used to start warping on me because I would watch it and memorize everything about that tape.
Right on. I got that, and I got Kiss Exposed at the same time. I remember.
Oh, sure, of course. Once the same thing, Exposed came out, and that was the first time that I saw makeup stuff on video, at home on my TV, that I could sit and watch Kiss in makeup. I was blown away. So, right. Yeah, those 2 videotapes made me cut school many, many days to just watch them.
Right on. All right.
So to answer your question, Eric Carr is definitely my favorite drummer of the 3.
Gotcha. Now, do you have a favorite drummer in general?
Again, it's so hard to say. Eric Carr probably is my favorite drummer of all time. Obviously, throughout the years as I've grown up, the Bonhams of the world and all these other guys have really influenced me too. I mean, another big influence of mine is Robert Sweet of Stryper. He's
awesome.
Such an underrated drummer. I know everyone says, "Oh, Stryper, what are you talking about? Right, Robert Sweet of Stryper. Who's that?" Or Stryper's this, Stryper that. First of all, Stryper is an incredible band, number one. And number two, Robert's drumming is, again, such a unique style. I like unique styles. I don't love the cookie-cutter rock drummer.
I hear you.
Even though some of these cookie-cutter rock drummers are the best drummers in the world, but just because you can play everyone else's stuff doesn't mean, to me, that you're the best drummer in the world. I like guys that take other guys' stuff or write their own stuff and make it exciting and new and fresh. And that's exactly what a guy like Robert Sweet did. His drumming on, Soldiers Under Commander is just, that whole record is unbelievable.
Absolutely. And their last album that they just came out with is nothing like they ever done before. I don't know if you've heard any of the tracks on it.
Yeah, I actually just started listening to it. I'm just starting to get into it, yeah. Yeah,
I was fortunate. I got to interview Michael, and I got to interview Perry, and I went to see them at the Gramercy, and he's like the visual timekeeper. That's what they call him. And I'm not a drummer myself, but I have a cousin that's a drummer. I have other friends besides yourself that are drummers, and I just got mesmerized because look, any instrument you play, it does definitely take a skill, but you have to keep time, no pun intended, on, but it's difficult because you have to learn certain tracks because you can improvise something on a guitar and still keep it sounding like similar to the same song that you recorded. But the drums, you have to keep it because there's people out there that are going to be like, wait a minute, they did something different. I do that. I diagnose that. Or dissect when I used to go to the Kiss tribute bands all the time. People are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm listening." And they're like, "Aren't you just enjoying the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, but the Gene guy did an E chord instead of a D or whatever." And they're like, "Really? Can't you just sit back and enjoy the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am, but if you're going to be a tribute,
it's so hard, especially with Kiss bands too, because everyone thinks Kiss is this simple, simplistic music, which it is in a sense,
right?
But it's very hard to replicate Kiss, especially early Kiss.
Right.
When you hear some of these tribute bands, listen, some of them are incredible, but some of them have just no clue how to replicate Kiss. It amazes me because Kiss, like I said earlier with Peter and Ace and even Paul and Gene's playing, they have such a unique sound that when you try to replicate them, you can really tell. Like if you ever go in, never mind a Kiss tribute band, because obviously they're schooled in Kiss.
Right.
If you just go into a bar and you hear a band, like a cover band, playing a Kiss song and just a set of other songs, that song usually sounds terrible because they just can't master it. They can't hit that Kiss.
Right. The feel.
They just have no idea. Yeah, they just don't get it. They don't get it.
Gotcha. All right. So here's a totally different question. I like to ask a lot of people this. I'm a bit of a car enthusiast. What kind of car do you drive?
I actually drive a Hyundai Santa Fe. I'm not a big car guy. Cars for me, I never got into cars. I think it was because I grew up in Manhattan for a long time.
Right.
So I grew up in Brooklyn originally, and then I lived in Manhattan from when I was about 15 till I was in my 30s.
Okay.
So I grew up in the West Village, never drove. I didn't even get my driver's license till I was in my mid-20s.
Wow, okay.
Just because I just never had any use for a car. I could never drive in the city, never park. I was a train guy. I was a walking guy in Manhattan, like I said.
Right.
Just never had any use for a car, so I never got into that whole car scene, you know what I mean? So I was never a big car enthusiast.
So
what do you drive?
I drive a 1995 Toyota Camry station wagon I bought for $1.
Very nice.
I don't need anything. To me, it's transportation, even though I am a car enthusiast. It's just at the time, I'm just like, you know what? I need something to just get me to the train, to pick up my sons, and, just do errands, go to work, and that's basically it, Would I like a better car? Sure.
something for me, like, I know there's like a big car collecting market and stuff. I'm more of a toy guy.
Right.
I collect vintage toys and, drum sets and stuff like that. I'm not definitely never, if I had $20 million right now, I'd probably be driving the same car. It wouldn't matter to me.
Right on. Okay. Speaking of toys, a mutual friend of ours, Mr. John Kivel, told me he thinks he's a bigger comic book fan than you are.
Now, this is where you might have to end the interview, because Kivel, if you know Kivel, he knows nothing about comic books.
I know.
So, when you see him, and when he listens to this, which he probably will, and comment badly on it, he knows nothing about comic books. He's a pure DC guy, and if you talk to him, you could really tell.
Right.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Really, really clueless when it comes to comics. If you want to talk comics, talk to me. I'm a huge, huge comic book buff. I actually just sold a giant chunk of my collection. I had basically full runs of Avengers, Fantastic Four, Hulk, and Spider-Man. I actually kept all my Avengers. I was a huge Avenger fan when I was a kid.
Wow.
I still have every issue of Avengers ever.
Wow.
But I just sold the first 25 Spider-Mans, the first 25 Incredible Hulks, and the first 25 Fantastic Fours. Just sold them 2 years ago.
So speaking of $20 million, now you have it. Holy cow.
It gave me a nice penny in my pocket. Yeah, it was nice. I had 2 kids. It was time to part with some of my collection and jumpstart the family.
I gotcha. Right on.
Yeah.
So now, comics, you also got involved with a comic too, correct?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a huge comic book buff. So a dream of mine, I've always wanted to own and write and create my own comic book and my own characters. So a buddy of mine, we've been writing this story, just briefly for a couple of years, just kind of going back and forth together about this different worlds with like these crossbreed animals. It's like a fantasy. It's almost like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Star Wars is the best way to describe it. It's about this other galaxy where the crossbreed animals live in this kingdom, and it's how this evil lord tries to basically extinguish them from the galaxy. It's a great comic book. It's called The Chicken Monkeys. You can get it on Comixology right now. You can download any digital platform. You can get a digital copy, or you can just message me directly. I have some hard copies right now. Hopefully the hard copies will be available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Hopefully by the end of the summer. I'm trying to get it up. It's just a long process to get it up and running in the stores there, but I do have them available personally, so you can message me on Facebook, Joey Cassata, facebook.com/Joey Cassata, or you can just, like I said, download the digital copy off of Comixology. It's a fun comic. It's all ages. It's again like a little Lord of the Rings type, fantasy, cool, but still kid friendly.
So do you do the artwork too, or do you just write it?
No, we just write it and create it, and we hired a freelance artist to draw it. It's really cool artwork too. It has like this old school painting style. It's not like the typical superhero artwork. It's more of like a fantasy painting, like the fantasy artwork, like the Franzetta and that type of stuff. More of that type of artwork than it is a comic book superhero artwork. So it's a fun read.
Nice. Okay. So, going back to the musicians, dead or alive, Eric Carr, rest in peace. I was very fortunate and blessed to know him for many years. He was the second KISS member I met. I first met Gene, then I met him, then I met Ace, and then I met Paul at that show at the Palladium July 25th, which changed my life and made me the KISS nut that I am today. Musicians, dead or alive, if you had a choice to play with, who would it be?
Listen, again, going back to Eric Carr. Eric Carr's unfortunately the only KISS member that I've never met.
Really?
Because again, he passed in 91, I believe.
Yeah, November 25th.
I was still young. I was playing in bands already, but I was young. I never got a chance to meet them at that point in my life and my career. there was no such thing as meet and greets back then. You know what I mean? I definitely would have sprang for meet and greets back then to meet all those guys, but there was no such thing back then. The rock stars were on a different level back then. You couldn't just meet them. And I didn't have the wherewithal really to hang out, you know, in the parking lot and all this other stuff. Like I said, living in Manhattan,
Right.
It was hard to just hang outside Madison Square Garden and hope to find a rock star. You know what I mean? So I think Eric Carr, going back to the same old question, I would love to sit with Eric Carr and jam with him and play with him, and it would be great. Speaking of Eric, I don't know if you know this too. I'm working with Eric's sister Loretta right now on Eric's creation called the Rockheads.
Really?
And I don't know if you know the story of the Rockheads. Eric was an amazing artist and cartoonist,
Yeah.
and Eric came up with this concept of this little kid rock band called the Rockhead. And he was working on it back in the late 80s, and he actually almost got it picked up by Hanna-Barbera. And unfortunately, before everything, you know, got going, Eric got sick and he passed away. And years later, I'm actually developing this other cartoon with Gilbert Gottfried. And I've been developing this for a long time. It's online and stuff like that, called Victor. And Eric Carr's family actually saw this and saw that I was into animation development and stuff like that, and contacted me and wanted to see if there was any way that I could bring the Rockheads to life.
Wow.
And sure enough, Loretta and I basically came up with this whole new concept. We kind of did a nice, like a Scooby-Doo twist on the Rockheads, and it became this rock band and this mystery, you know, magical mystery type thing. And we did an animated short. You could check it out on YouTube or on the Rockheads Facebook page. Just type in Rockheads and you'll find it. The link will come up. And if you post this anywhere too, please include the link to the Rockheads. It's a great little animation piece. We're shopping into network right now. We're getting a lot of great responses. Hopefully you'll see the Rockhead, you know, on Nickelodeon or Netflix in a year or so.
That'd be awesome. Now, are you doing the voice as well, or?
Hopefully I'm doing some of the voices. I'm mostly writing and directing it. Loretta is writing also with me and producing it, and she does some of the voices. We have some other voices, because, again, of course, they're a kid's rock band. My voice is a little deep for it. So
Right.
I'll probably do some secondary characters, but right now I'm just writing and directing it. We're writing some music for it, and we have, you know, a lot of great stars involved in it. Bruce Kulick is involved in it still, and we have a lot of calls out to a lot of other big pop stars that we're trying to get involved in the show. It looks like it's going to take off. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. All right. So if you didn't become...
like you said when I first started, I'm all over the place. I'm running around. I know we've been trying to do this interview for weeks.
Yeah.
As you can see, I run around with like a chicken without a head. I have a lot of projects going on, and I'm always busy.
That's great, though. So if you didn't become a professional musician and everything, and didn't do the comic, like, what kind of work would you be doing? Like...
Jesus, that's a great question. I mean, again, being 5 years old when I started playing drums and I saw Kiss,
Right.
There's nothing else I've ever thought about doing. The only thing that came close, and this ties into another project that I'm doing, when I was young, when I was probably 9 years old, I got introduced to professional wrestling.
Okay.
And that became an obsession for me when I was young. And when I was a kid, I was a very, very large kid. Bigger than I was, you know, double the size of all my friends as far as height and weight and just strength and everything. For some reason, from the ages of 7 to 12, I was a giant. So everyone thought that I was going to be this 6'7" giant, you know, monster kid. And wrestling just worked out perfect for me because I was obsessed with wrestling. We used to go to Madison Square Garden every month. I saw Hulk Hogan win the title for the first time in 1984.
Me too.
I saw, you know, all those matches. I went to the Garden every month for almost 2 years. My mom would take me.
Awesome.
And I became obsessed with professional wrestling. So again, I wanted to become a professional wrestler at that time too. Drums and wrestling was like my life. I had a big house in Brooklyn, and I had 2 rooms. I had my bedroom dedicated to my drums and Kiss, and I had a giant empty room dedicated to wrestling with wrestling mats in the room that me and my friends would put on our own wrestling matches, and we would call it Madison Square Room.
Right on.
And it was just a crazy time. We'd go, you know, we would put on battle royals in the room, and to win the battle royal, you'd literally have to throw each other out of the room. So it was a great time. But unfortunately, at the age of 12, I was basically the size I am now, just about 6 feet,
Right.
from the age of 11 on. I never grew again. From about 6th, 7th grade, I just stopped growing. But picture a kid in 5th, 6th grade, 6 feet tall, 165, 175 pounds.
Damn.
He's a monster.
No
You
kidding.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But then all my friends just started to catch up to me, so the wrestling dream slowly became gone. And, drums took over again. But again, that goes into another project I'm working on called Wrestling with Joey Licious.
Right on. I was just about to ask you, what was your wrestling name?
Of course, Joey Licious, right?
Right on.
So, growing up, I always did this character called Joey Licious. That was always my name as a wrestler. Even growing up, like, when I used to go to bars, like in my 20s and my 30s, I would go to a bar and wear like boas and my championship belt and beat this character, Joey Licious. And, I'd goof around with my friends and wrestle with my friends at the bar. I was always this character. And then when we did the show Z-Rock,
Right.
there was an episode dedicated to professional wrestling that Chris Jericho was the guest star on.
Right on.
And in that show, the original script called for us to dress as, like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. But I had this great idea that we should do our own characters and come up with our own wrestling personas. And, of course, I had mine already since I was, 9 years old, Joey Licious.
Right.
And the other two guys created their own characters. I think Dave Z was Chip and Dave, like a Chippendale dancer, and Paulie was Pulled Pork Paulie, which was a guy that used to love pork.
Nice. A nice Jewish guy that he is.
So from Z-Rock, this character Joey Licious, it was like one of the highest rated shows, highest rated episodes of Z-Rock, which was the wrestling episode. From that, once Z-Rock ended, I started writing this other show, not so much a spin-off, of course, because Joey Licious is my character, but its own show called Wrestling with Joey Licious. And what it really is, it's basically about my life story. It's about this kid that grew up a giant wrestling fan. He was a giant as a kid. He was going to be the biggest wrestler in the world, but again, he stopped growing. But the only twist is he didn't give up on his dream like I did. He kept going with his dream, and he started wrestling in the indie scenes, and he just never was good. Of course, he was never good enough to make it. He was always a little bit out of shape or just a little bit undersized, and he just never was good enough. But he's still 40 years old, living with his mom, wrestling one match a week, making $50, and he's still living his dream. And the twist of the show is, throughout the course of each episode, wrestlers from the 80s appear to him in his imagination to give him advice throughout his life, to try to help him along. And of course it always backfires. They always give him the wrong advice. So I have guys like the Iron Sheik, and we had Roddy Piper and the late Jimmy Snooker on board. They both passed away. We actually filmed with them already.
Wow.
I have Hulk Hogan, I have Ric Flair, I have King Kong Bundy, I have, Honky Tonk Man, Tito Santana, everyone you can think of from the 80s on board with this show. So right now, between you and I and everyone that's listening to this, we're just about signed with this major deal right now that we're looking to have this starting to begin pre-production in September. So
that's awesome.
Again, like all my other projects, hopefully you'll see Joey Licious on air in January, if not next summer.
That's awesome. And speaking of like your 80s heroes of wrestlers, who is your favorite wrestler?
I mean, again, like I said, this whole story, Hulk Hogan. Once I saw my first hero was Jimmy Snooker.
Okay.
And that's actually the first guy that I got involved with Joey Licious. He was the first guy that I reached out to and got on board with Joey Licious, and he's the first guy I filmed with, and he was absolutely incredible. He was still the superstar he was back then. He still was today.
Right.
Jimmy Snooker, when I first saw him jump off the top rope, that's what got me hooked into wrestling.
Gotcha.
But then once Hulk Hogan came onto the scene, he became my new obsession. So Hogan was always my guy, throughout the 80s. And then even in the 90s when he became Hollywood Hogan, he turned bad. He got me hooked back on wrestling again. So Hogan was always my obsession.
Nice. All right.
How about you? Were you a wrestling fan?
I definitely am a big wrestling fan. I did go to the same match that you did when Hulk won against the Iron Sheik.
Oh, you're kidding. That's amazing. I was there. My first match that I ever saw live was 2 months before that. I saw Backlund versus Masked Superstar.
Oh, right.
And I saw Backlund lose against the Sheik, and then I saw Hogan beat the Sheik.
Yeah. So that was my.
Who was your favorite growing up?
Well, I would have to say, growing up, I also was a big fan. I liked The Undertaker. I liked The Ultimate Warrior, just because their energy. I just liked The Undertaker because he was like just so dark, and the Paul Bearer was just hysterical.
Sure.
And then of course, and then I liked Rick Rude because he was just arrogant and whatever, and then Jake the Snake. I had a garter snake growing up as a kid, and I named him Jake the Snake. And then I had a...
Jake is also on board with Joey Vicious. We have a great team. We actually were supposed to... Jake, we were supposed to film with 2 or 3 times, and scheduling, we just keep missing each other. So
wow,
you'll see a great team with Jake coming up.
Awesome. And then I grew up with one of my dearest friends was married to Balls Mahoney, going back a little later in the days, and and my sons. I'm proud papa of 2 little monsters that love wrestling, so we wrestle all the time, and they kick my ass. They're 9 and 6, and they're like, "Tag team, Dad," and they definitely do it. And the wrestlers today, don't get me wrong, there is a couple that are still out there that are from our generation that are still doing it, but some of the guys today, I think they're not doing it like our guys used, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and all these, like you said, Snuka. They had something that these guys don't. They just go out and wrestle. There's no real storyline or nothing to build character about. So I don't know. I still enjoy watching it.
I hate to sound like that the old guys that say, "Well, back in my day."
Yeah, exactly.
But same thing with music. I mean, listen. Obviously, you can't judge the generation today fairly because everything we grew up with made an impact on us because we were kids and we had a certain mentality and a certain vision of these bigger than life characters that made an impression on us. So when we saw these guys, it was different. You can't go see a band today being our age and being our, generation and what we've grown up on, and me being a musician and playing with all these other bands, you can't go see a new band today and have that same feeling that when you saw Kiss at the Palladium or when I saw Kiss at Madison Square Garden. And I think it's the same thing with the wrestlers. You can't go to Madison Square Garden or turn on Monday Night Raw and watch someone like, Roman Reigns and get that same feeling that you had from Snuka or Hogan back in the day. Not that Reigns is this character that's bad. It's just we'll never feel that way again because we're a different age.
Absolutely.
So kids today, I think they do feel what we felt back then from bands and from wrestlers. I think it's just a different generation. It's different. It's not the same. Just like our parents had the Beatles and Elvis, they felt a certain way when they saw Elvis. They went ballistic, and they saw Kiss. When they saw Kiss, they were like, "What the hell is this? How could you guys like this? This is not Elvis, so this is not the Beatles." So I think each generation has their own thing, and I think being a kid and when you're the most influenced in your life is really what makes you a fan of something.
I 100% agree with you. I can definitely see that. Now, speaking of all these musicians and celebrity wrestlers that you dealt with working with them, have you ever been starstruck?
Well, probably the only time that I was even slightly starstruck. And I don't know why I don't get starstruck. I think the reason why I don't get starstruck is because if I was a kid meeting all these wrestlers and all these musicians, I think I would be starstruck. But because I'm in the music industry and I'm striving to become a great rock drummer and a great musician and a great actor in this wrestling show myself, I try to make them more my peers than I make them my heroes now. So I try to it's not even consciously, I think. I think, I try to put myself on the same level as them. So I'm working with them and I'm working around them. So it's not so much that I get starstruck. Don't get me wrong. I love being around all these guys and learning from them and playing with them and jamming with them and opening up for them. And it's incredible. Even working with all these wrestlers on Joey-licious was an incredible experience. But, for instance, when we filmed with Roddy Piper was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. But, I talked to him on the phone for 2 months setting up this shoot and writing the script with him and conversing with him as peers.
Right.
Way before I got to meet him and become a fan. So I was his peer and working with him and almost his boss because I was hiring him to do something. So it was on this other level. So the only time that I was a little bit starstruck, which was actually a surprise, I was in a Kiss tribute band back in the early 2000s called Kiss Nation. I'm not sure if you knew them. They're a local band. And we did the Creatures of the Night era. I was Eric Carr, of course.
Right.
So we actually filmed a pilot show for VH1 called Mock Rock.
Yes, I do remember doing that show.
Right, it never aired, but it is on YouTube now. You can just type in VH1 Mock Rock and it'll come up. Or you can go to my YouTube page. It's Joey Cassata Videos on YouTube. So all that stuff is on there. And all this, Xerox stuff and Joey-licious stuff is all on there, so you can check it all out. And so we filmed this episode of Mock Rock. And it was about, a Kiss tribute band and showing us put on the makeup and the costumes and how we bought the costumes and built the costumes and all this stuff. So at the end of the episode, VH1 flew us out to LA.
Right.
To do a private show for basically the network.
Okay.
And that's what we thought we were doing anyway. We did a private show at the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset Strip for VH1. And during the course of the show, a spotlight shined on the balcony, and Gene and Paul were watching us from the balcony.
Right on.
And the whole twist of the show was the end of the episode and the end of every episode of the series was going to be the tribute band that you were paying tribute to was going to be there watching you perform their songs and in their makeup and, their costumes. So Gene and Paul basically watched us play. It was the first time that I was ever a little taken back because it wasn't even so much that I was meeting them, and we did get to meet them and talk to them and hang out with them, for a couple hours after. It was more that they were watching me play, and they were, judging how I was drumming, which was incredible to me because, my whole life I grew up wanting to be, the drummer for Kiss.
I hear you.
And I was sitting there watching Gene and Paul watch me play their songs.
I hear you.
So that was the only time I think I was a little starstruck because it was sudden and it was a surprise and it was kind of they were standing above me judging me. It was a great experience.
Awesome. All right.
A lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh man, it was incredible. It really was. I mean, you can watch the episode of Mock Rock on YouTube. It was so much fun to do, and in a weird way, that kind of got me the job with ZO2 in a roundabout way. So like I said, the manager of ZO2 at the time was friendly with Paul Stanley, and later on, this a couple of years later when I started playing with ZO2. He actually mentioned to Paul Stanley, hey, we're working with this drummer. He was in that Kiss tribute band, Kiss Nation, that you saw play for VH1. What did you think of him? And Paul actually gave me a glowing review. It said, that guy's incredible. He did all the parts, all Eric Carr's parts perfect. He sings like Eric. You should grab him while you can. And that, in a weird way, solidified me inside ZO2.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Wow, you get an endorsement by Paul Stanley, that's rock royalty, that's Godspell to most people.
Absolutely. And everything, like I said, everything ties back to Kiss one way or another. Somehow, it all gets back to Kiss. Even when I'm dead, I'm sure I'll be buried in a Kiss coffin. So it'll begin with Kiss and end with Kiss.
Right, I hear you. Well, I always tell everybody, I'm not just a fan, I'm the fan club president, because I did for many years. And people would just be like, you're obsessed. I'm like, I was born and raised Jewish. I had a bar mitzvah, but I'm like, my religion's Kiss, all about it. But,
right.
I've grown up since then and matured. And, expand my horizons on music, such as yours and everybody else. So,
right, same way. Kiss was everything back then. But, then you grow up, you expand your horizon, you learn about the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and the Stones and the Who. And,
exactly.
You start to learn other things and appreciate other things, but it still all goes back to Kiss. And I think it's so weird because I find most Kiss fanatics like myself and yourself are also tied in with that whole comic book world and or the wrestling world. I think
yes.
those worlds, not so much rock music, but the Kiss rock music,
yes.
they all tie together, those three universes, because it's this visual sensation. It's this, when I saw Kiss the first time, I don't think it was the music that hooked me. Of course, the music is what kept me there. But when I saw Kiss that first time with explosions and Gene flying, I was already reading comic books, so it tied into that whole comic book world. And then the same thing with the wrestlers. The wrestlers had this over-the-top personality, this bigger-than-life personality. And again, even with the wrestling, I don't think wrestling is what got me hooked on professional wrestling. I think it was the interviews and the segments, Piper's Pit and hitting with snooker with the coconut. All that stuff got me hooked on wrestling, not the actual wrestling.
Right.
I think all those worlds just tie together because they're all just bigger than life.
Absolutely. Well, larger than life, no pun intended.
Right.
So, exactly. So, what do you do on your free time when you're not doing all these projects? Do you garden, you bake, you cook,
Yeah, actually, like I said, I have 2 kids now.
Right on.
I have a beautiful wife. I have an 8-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. Keep me super, super busy. I moved out to New Jersey a few years ago. Once I had my second kid, it was just time to get out of the city. It was just overcrowding and I couldn't take it anymore. I needed some property. I needed a pool. I needed everything. So we went out to Jersey. So that keeps me busy. I love my house. I do a lot of gardening. It's so funny that you mentioned that. Garden everything, plant everything myself. Take care of the property. Take care of the pool.
Right on.
Run with the kids. Take the kids to the playground. Nothing better than sitting playing with my kids all day long. I love it more than anything in the world. And the life that I chose to live kind of warrants me to do that more because I don't have the typical 9-to-5 job. I do work at night and I do gig and studio and write and do all this other stuff. So it opens up a lot of free time for me to take the kids to school, pick them up from school, be dad all day long and stuff like that. Give them baths and play in the pool with them and play, wiffle ball with them and football and everything that I can do to spend every waking minute I have with them. And then I go off and, I'll do some weekend gigs with Eric or I'll do Jim Brewer or, I'll do some Broadway shows. So I'm busy at night, but it keeps me freed up during the day. It's the perfect life.
Nice. So, bands of today, who's your favorite band that you listen to today that you would have to say, we talked about all the bands of yesterday, but there is some bands out there today that are pretty strong. Is there one band that you'd be like, I've seen?
I know the popular thing to say, and I do love them also. Greta Van Fleet is killing it right now. I think I love those guys.
Right on.
I heard about them right as they were coming on the scene. I think Portnoy turned me on to them. I'm good buddies with Portnoy, and he's always introducing me to new stuff and posting about new stuff. I think it's got to be almost a year and a half ago now that he first introduced me to those guys. But not so much that they're a new band again, but it's going to get back to Kiss. I don't know if you've heard something called Classic Kiss. Have you heard that?
No.
Classic 78 it's actually called, not Classic Kiss.
Oh, okay.
It's called Classic 78, and what it is it's an original band. It's not a tribute band in any way, shape, or form. It's not cover songs in any way, shape, or form. It's an actual band. Okay. And what they do is they recreate the vibe and the sound of classic Kiss from the 70s.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. It's all I listen to right now. I know maybe I'm old school. I don't love new bands. This is technically a new band, and I absolutely love it. They released their first EP,
okay.
And it basically, I think what the concept of it was, what if Kiss, instead instead of just releasing side 4 of Alive 2, what if they released a whole new album before the solo albums?
Really?
And the first EP they did was basically the second side of what Alive 2 would be, that side 4.
Yeah.
So it's like to finish that album.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. You can't believe what these guys sound. They captured Kiss so perfectly, from Paul Stanley's vocals to Gene's vocals to Ace's vocals to their playing style to the recording to Peter's drum work, which is, again, like I talked about earlier, very hard to replicate. You got to check these guys out. Classic 78. They just released a second EP, which actually makes a full-length album now. So there's actually a full-length classic 70s Kiss album out there that you've never heard. Dude, you got to check it out. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Well, that was my first album, was Kiss Alive 2. My brother gave it to me. And when I heard Any Way You Want It,
my favorite album of all time.
when I heard Any Way You Wanted, that's what got me hooked. Even though it's not a Kiss original song, I was just like, wow. And I'm like 4.5, 5 years old. I'm just like, wow, these guys are really good, and that's got me, hook, line, and sinker.
Like I said, if you love that, you got to check this Classic 78 out. They're on Facebook. They're online. You could buy hard copies from them. You could stream it, I think. You could buy it on iTunes. It's incredible. You will love it. And by the way, Alive 2 is sorry to cut you off. Alive 2 is 100% my favorite album of all time.
Right on. Okay. So any advice for new bands today?
Yeah, listen, I took the long route. I played in hundreds of bands, and maybe not hundreds, but dozens and dozens of bands and hundreds of different musicians. I think what you have to do is always keep true to what you like to do. You have to play music because you love it. You have to play music because you get a certain feeling from it when you play it and when you're playing it live on stage. If you don't get that vibe that you get on stage that, gives you chills and gives you goosebumps, you're probably not in the right business. You probably shouldn't be doing this for a living. It's something you have to love to do with all your passion. And I think that goes for anything you do in life. It doesn't have to be a musician. I think this is advice for anyone. Anything you do, you have to do it all out, or it doesn't pay to do it. Don't do it then. If you don't love it, don't do it, because you're not going to get to the height and the peak of what you can do unless you really love what you're doing, because then you're just doing it as work, and I get it. Everyone has to work to make a living. I totally get it. Don't get me wrong. And it's 1 in a million that you get a chance to do what you love for a living. But if you love something, do it all out and give it its all. But if you're finding yourself struggling, that you don't really love it that much anymore, quit. Don't do it because you just, want to keep up the farce that you're a musician or you're whatever you're doing, you're a basketball player, whatever you want to do. Just do it because you love it, and then great things will follow.
Right on. Okay. And now, since you're an Italian guy from Brooklyn, I have to ask, is it sauce, is it ragu, or is it gravy?
Well, growing up, it was always gravy.
Okay.
Growing up, my mother always called it gravy. My grandmother always called it gravy. As I get older, I think just because I'm not around my family as much and them as much because they've passed, but everyone else calls it sauce. Any other Italians, my wife is Italian, so everyone else that I'm around calls it sauce. So I've just gravitated to sauce now. It was always gravy. Ragu, never. We would never ever refer to it as ragu. That means you're eating jarred sauce, and that's probably because you're Irish. So.
Right.
But either gravy or sauce works. I prefer gravy, but like I said, as I'm getting older, I probably call it sauce more than ever.
Right on.
What about you?
Well, I'm not Italian descent, but I grew up, and a long time ago as a kid, like in high school, I dated a girl. Her parents and her grandparents were right off the boat, and they would call it gravy. And then I spoke to John Reagan, the bass player of Freely's Comet and 4x Fate and everything. He's like, Psycho, it's ragu. I'm like, no, ragu's a bottle. That's what I think of when I think...
Wait, he calls it ragu?
That's what he said, because that's what it means. It means sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's just like, it's a slang term for sauce. I'm like, Okay. And, you know, a lot of other people said ragu, and I got it from everybody. I'm just like, I don't know, it's pasta sauce. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, obviously I grew up in America. My grandparents were both from Italy, but
Right.
I grew up in America, and I associate the word ragu with the jarred sauce.
Yeah, so do
That's
I.
why I said it. You know, Regan probably knows more than me. He's full Italian, I think. So
Yeah.
I think he probably refers it back to, you know, the Italian word ragu. So
Yes.
you know, listening, I retract my offense of ragu.
No, it's all good. All right, so plug time. What can we plug for Joey? Let's let everybody know as far as in website. If you're coming out with your own pasta sauce or ragu or gravy, you know, what can we tell people how to find you, keep in touch with you? Will you respond besides to me annoying the hell out of you to get you on here? Without giving your address and your phone number, how can people get in touch with you?
The best place to always reach me is via Facebook. My Facebook page, facebook.com/Joey Cassata. I'm always posting where I am, who I'm performing with, what I'm performing, what I'm selling, what new products I have, whether it's my comic book that just came out, clips of Wrestling with Joey Licious are up there. I just finished my autobiography, which will hopefully be out next year. That'll be up there. Most of the stuff is available on Amazon and other links, but you can always find, the home to find me is always facebook.com/Joey Cassata. I'm also on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter @Joey Cassata. Same thing with Instagram @Joey Cassata. My YouTube account, you can go to YouTube, look at all clips of everything that we've talked about today, from ZO2 to Z-Rock to Kiss Nation Mock Rock to stuff with Eric Martin to stuff with me on Broadway doing The Great Comet, all that type of stuff on YouTube @Joey Cassata Videos. So those are all the links. Again, all my links are also on my Facebook page, so I know it's hard to write all this stuff down. Just go to the Facebook page. All the links are there. You can just follow them right through there.
Right on. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of me, not just being a fan and a friend of yours, but just thank you for taking the time. I know, like you said, you've been super busy with the kids thing, with the whole comic and music thing. We definitely want to come and check you out. The Chick and I would love to see you guys perform either with Eric Martin or come and see you with Brewer.
I have lots of dates with Eric Martin in August. We're over at the New England Rock Fest on August 17th, I believe, with Firehouse. We're in Detroit. The next weekend, 24th, 25th. We're all over the place. Just check the calendars. You can go to ericmartin.com for all those dates, or you can check, like I said, my Facebook page. I'll always be playing around, so you'll be able to find me.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much once again. I really, truly appreciate it.
Awesome, dude. Great time. Thanks for everything.
You too.
You got it, bro.
Take care. Have a good day.
Awesome.
Thanks. Later.
You too.